Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well friends, it's not exactly Christmas just yet, but it may as well be. It's electoral Christmas, as we're getting hit with focus group after focus group, which are all following the exact same trend, one after another, signaling a massive defeat for the Democrat Party. What happened to all of those blue waves? So many posts talking about the massive blue wave that was about to hit. Well, where have they all gone? They've seemingly disappeared over the last couple of weeks, and with good reason. The shift rightward is so obvious, so undeniable that even the blue anon losers on Twitter are secretly admitting that it's true with their silence. But of course, the greatest clue here, folks, is what the voters are saying, what the people are telling you. And that's why these focus groups give you the best key insight into what's going to happen on election day. And with a keen focus on the state of Pennsylvania currently, well, let's just say it continues to look like the Democrat doomsday scenario that we've been predicting. But of course, don't take it from me, take it from the voters themselves. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that as we look at some more focus groups here. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so the Democrats have been trying to pull a little spin job here, as if John Fetterman did a great job during the debates.
Thank you. Fetterman yesterday. Are you confident about his about the way it looks there?
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I thought he knew what he was doing. I thought he was strong. And look, Fetterman is Pennsylvania. I mean, Fetterman is everything that he appears to be. You know where he stands. He has great courage. He has no reluctance to say what he thinks. He's my kind of guy.
They've been trying to spin the narrative as if John Fetterman is real courageous, and that anybody who criticizes him is just being an ableist bigot. But of course, the biased media will do what the biased media does. What the voters are saying is near unanimous. They agree that Dr. Oz decisively won the debate.
What did you think about the performance on the debate?
Well, obviously Oz won the debate, but I think that Fetterman should not have been forced into that position. I think he should be in a rehab, which would help him a whole lot more.
Well, I think Fetterman, as has already been suggested, had a deplorable performance. I mean, it was, I really question his ability to fulfill the role of the senator.
And so it really seems as though the debate has sealed the deal here. Democrats are pretending as if they stand a chance because there's a New York Times/Siena push poll that just got released, which shows John Fetterman up by 5. But this poll should have never been released because the Dr. Oz/Fetterman debate happened on Tuesday, October 25th at 5 p.m. The majority of the data collected in this New York Times/Siena poll was collected on October 24th, prior to the debate. And that's not even taking into account that the New York Times poll has a history of overstating Democrats' support by significant margins. In Pennsylvania specifically, missing the mark by 5.5% in 2016 and 2020. The reality is here, post-debate, Dr. Oz has seen a surge across the board. Dr. Oz leads John Fetterman in 4 consecutive polls since debate, with the People's Pundit up 2 points, Coefficient up 3, Insider Advantage up 3, and Wick Insights up 3 again. This is the clear trend that we're seeing, friends, and it's showing up in the focus groups over and over again. Let me show you guys what I mean by a clear trend.
I've been a lifelong Democrat, but I'm here to tell you today that I'm flipping to Republican. I can no longer follow this party.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
Helene, what did you think about the debate?
Oh boy, I actually feel sorry for him. The people in his inner circle, his family, people that are around him, should never let that man even get next to a debate stage, let alone run for the Senate. I don't think he's physically fit. He wants to put up these safe sites for heroin addiction, injectable sites. He's for releasing the prisoners out of jail. I mean, we need law and order in this country. Things are going so far off the rail. I mean, I have so much that I would like to say. Just sitting here, it just makes me so upset because this country is gone haywire.
From Chris in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, on that line for Pennsylvanians. Chris, good morning. You're on with our guest. Go ahead.
Good morning. I will be short and sweet. How come things were better under President Trump? Taxes were lower, food was lower, gas was lower, and now we got a new president, and all that stuff is sky high. You go to the grocery store, you can't get out of there for less than $100. You got to have at least $50 or $60 for gas in your car, and it's trickling down and destroying the whole country. Why can't anybody see that?
I don't want my taxpayer dollars going towards funding abortions. And that's John Fetterman is going to be a 51st vote to get rid of the filibuster, which can get rid of the Hyde Amendment, which Joe Biden historically was for until recently.
The evidence is now overwhelming that the GOP is leading in Pennsylvania. Any other result would be absolutely shocking and frankly make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Of course, Democrats would point to their clear outlier polls, but not only do these polls seem like outliers, frankly, they seem like last-minute push polls. We all remember what the most recent New York Times Siena poll did, causing an absolute panic with the Democrat establishment. Nancy Pelosi during her media tour looking like an absolute fool trying to tackle that poll. Well, who knows? Maybe some phone calls were made, some little backdoor meetings, and the New York Times was motivated to start releasing some pro-Democrat numbers. It's the only thing that I could possibly think of. Ironically enough, Nancy Pelosi called the New York Times poll an outlier poll, but not for the same reason that we are. Of course, the last one was quite favorable to Republicans, especially of their tracking of female voters on the issue of abortion in respect to inflation. Well, Nancy Pelosi might have been right for the wrong reasons. As you take a look right over here, which poll is truly the outlier poll? As Raphael Warnock continues to tank in the polling data, and Herschel Walker is the clear de facto leader, with every single poll over the last 2 weeks suggesting a strong Herschel Walker victory. The New York Times/Siena poll is the only outlier showing a Warnock +3 victory. The numbers the New York Times just published just don't make any sense. In fact, the entire Raphael Warnock surge from early October, none of it really made sense, to be completely honest with you. This narrative that Herschel Walker was an emotionally abusive father seems a little bit rich, considering we have this clip from 2020 showing Raphael Warnock's ex-wife saying he tried to run her over with a car and that he's, quote, a great actor and really good at putting on a show.
And he's like, I gotta get to the airport, I gotta go. Close the door. And I was like, please. And he's like, well, I close the door, I'm leaving. And I was like, just hear me out. If your mom died and I had the kids, wouldn't you want me to let them go with you to the funeral? And he just starts backing the car up. And he wasn't going fast. Like, I'm not bleeding, but I just can't believe he would run me over. But I've tried to keep the way that he acts under wraps for a long time, and today he crossed the line. So that is what is going on here, and he's a great actor. He is phenomenal at putting on a really good show.
Another race I'm fairly certain is going to end up in the R column. The overwhelming trend in these races is heading one direction, folks. You can see it with the data, and most importantly, you can see it with the voters. In all of these focus groups that we have been covering over the last couple of weeks, we keep seeing the same thing over and over and over again. The number one issues are the economy and crime, and overwhelmingly, we're seeing people agree that Republicans are the right people to tackle these issues moving forward. And here's another interesting element. How many people, like the lady we played earlier, have you heard say that they're lifelong registered Democrats and they're voting Republican for the first time? Let me ask you, have we encountered a single lifelong registered Republican who in this election cycle plans on voting Democrat? I haven't seen a single one. I'm sure they exist, falling for some of the Blue Anon conspiracies and MSNBC nonsense, but they're certainly not as prevalent as angry Democrat voters who are defecting from the party. And we keep seeing these voters pop up one after another, and they're all essentially saying the same thing. And one thing that I've noticed, which is really astonishing, is that most of them are women. And that backs up the New York Times female voter analysis that we covered from 2 weeks ago. Female voters, suburban mothers, who take care of family finances and budgets, the ones dealing with the grocery bills and basic costs of goods, the ones who experienced Democrat education policies over the last couple of years firsthand. Those are the lifelong Democrat voters that are defecting from the party. And for me, friends, that spells doom for the Democrats heading into the next election, barring any funny business. Democrats are going to need a magic trick here. They're going to need to pull off a last-minute miracle to turn this thing around. And as I keep saying, I'm just not seeing it. Raphael Warnock's campaign is tanking. John Fetterman's campaign is tanking as well, and that already puts the Republicans in Senate majority territory. If a couple other pins fall, which are, in my opinion, quite likely, well then the Blue Anon Twitter crowd is going to be in for a very, very rude awakening, as the voters send them a clear message that this short-lived left-wing Democrat party is officially over. That's what I got for you guys, though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one.